Disclaimer: I will not be trademarking any words used in this production.
Hello, ladies and bees and gents. My name's Captain Andy, not Captain Obvious.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
But I've often found that given the tyranny of second-class minds on the internet...
Tyranny of second-class minds. You're talking about men, right? You do realize you are one of those minds, right?
Stating the obvious is something of a necessity.
Like the obvious difference between objective and subjective obvious?
Case in point, why Steve Shives should not waste his time debating Sargon of Akkad.
Is it because citations will be needed? Or the fact that Sargon asked for a mentor and a talk, not a debate?
I need a mentor to come on a live stream and talk to me about feminism.
First off, the purpose of a debate is not to educate the other person. I simply cannot stress this enough.
Hold on a second.
Get Socrates on the phone. Debates can no longer be used to educate.
Your opponent in a debate is not your teacher, and as such is not there to teach you.
No, I said conference call. And I don't care that Aristotle is tutoring his new protege.
If you haven't already educated yourself on the subject at hand, then you have no business expecting anyone to entertain your desire for a debate.
Valid point. That's why we are not debating the difference between a debate and a talk. You are insufficiently educated on the topic.
Sargon has to date made over 500 videos, a fair whack of which have been on how much he doesn't like feminism. Yet here he is asking Steve to educate him on the subject.
Or, just maybe, to educate him being Sargon, on Steve's personal positions on the topic feminism, a valid subject of the talk, not debate, that Sargon asked for.
It really should go without saying that this is arse backwards.
Yes, it is ass backwards to hear the word debate when the word spoken was talk. In fact, I dare you to publish the exact timestamp where Sargon says the word, quote, debate.
Educating yourself on a subject is what you should do before you set about making hundreds of videos on said subject. Anyone who can't figure that out clearly has no interest in educating themselves on the subject.
I would decrease that to one video, such as you and the words in Sargon's video. Thank you for clearly defining your bias.
There are a number of videos on YouTube that explain the basic concepts of feminism for the layperson, which I know for a fact Sargon has seen, given as he has chosen to respond to them.
Layperson? Is feminism an area of special study or a religion? That was a rhetorical trick question. We all know the answer.
If he can't understand those, which is the case, then he is not going to understand any of the books he is apparently reading on feminism.
I need a scientifically valid citation proving you can read Sargon's mind.
It's not just a case that Sargon doesn't understand, he doesn't want to understand.
Citation!
Every minute spent trying to explain something to such a person is a minute wasted.
Schools out forever.
A minute that could have been spent talking to someone whose ears are actually open. My next point I want to make has to do with the audience. The audience for this debate would not be made up of keen minds looking to be intrigued. Rather, it would be made up of ignoramuses looking to be entertained.
So it's not a debate if some members of the audience are biased, or if the audience doesn't feel intrigued. Where is that rule written? And have your powers of mass telepathy, precognition, and clairvoyance finally matured and coalesced? Congratulations.
The majority of Sargon's subscribers do not understand the purpose of debate, as evidenced by their preemptively declaring Sargon to be the victor.
I'm sensing a bit of projection. You are the one who claims that debate can neither be educational, nor can the audience simply be entertained, after all.
Zinnia Jones once made the point that in an argument one should not fixate on winning.
Yes, because no one ever argues from the perspective that their position is correct. It is far better to argue from moderation. That's a fallacy. Yours.
A debate is about finding an area of legitimate controversy within a topic and exploring it, putting the differing perspectives on such a controversy through the rigour of scrutiny. A debate is not about your ego versus someone else's ego.
Oh, so close. You know, the thing about ego is, we invested in our beliefs, much like you are doing when you complain that Sargon wants to discuss matters that might regard your beliefs, but not with you. I mean, have you never seen Turok or Craig debate? Scrutiny is not a rule of debate. Ego often is.
That's what internet flame wars are for.
That was until everyone figured out the magic of false flagging.
Until this can be understood, any debate on any subject would be completely lost on the audience in question, and would be a waste of time.
Really? So the debate of an ethereal versus vacuum universe was a waste of time, because those who backed ether were not truly informed. Or the flat versus spherical Earth, or geocentrism versus heliocentrism. Really, I could spend years listening to debates that, according to you, were a waste of time.
Sargon's subscribers don't want debate.
Ad hominem straw man drinking from poisoned wells.
Another important point I need to make is that, with no disrespect intended to Steve, feminist discussions should not be dominated by men.
My multiple choice response. A. Hooray, equal rights! Even feminist men tell others what they should and shouldn't do. B. He for she, asshole. C. Then shut up. D. C.
One thing I've noticed about male feminists on YouTube is that they can often end up challenging male anti-feminists in a manner that plays into toxic masculinity.
Yes, and you are doing a right wonderful job, toxicity included.
If Sargon wants to understand feminism, he should try shutting his fucking mouth for a while and listening to what some feminist academics have to say.
Are you one such? Thought not. Stop mansplaining.
And I do stress listening to, not responding to, not reacting to, but actually listening to.
You forgot some part of that, I think.
An objection Sargon might raise is that he didn't challenge Steve to a debate, rather a conversation.
That is, in fact, objectively what happened. But you'll respond.
But given, as I mentioned earlier, Sargon's fans are already declaring him the victor of this debate.
As expected, irrelevant shit not related in any manner to what Sargon actually asked for. How predictable.
Sargon might want to reflect on how well his message is being received by his audience.
When you have perfected your mind control powers over your audience, then you can complain about Sargon or anyone else's lack of control over their audience.
Regarding this charity business, this is nothing more than a thinly veiled threat.
Oh, this should be good. Please continue.
When Sargon says he'll donate $1,000 to a charity of Steve's choosing if he agrees to debate, what he's really saying is, if you don't do what I want you to do, I will make you look uncharitable.
Lovely. An appeal to consequences and probability topped with an ample serving of straw man. Timestamp, please.
Thankfully, only an idiot, or in this case 100,000 idiots, would fall for this.
No, just the one.
What Sargon does with his money is up to him, not Steve.
Or you. If he wishes to use it as a donation to a charity, whatever the reason, it's not your place to judge.
I also find it intriguing that Sargon, someone who has gone out of his way to tell us all about how evil and scary and dangerous feminism is suddenly willing to give $1,000 of his money to feminism.
I hate repeating myself. Not your place to judge.
Personally, I would never in a billion years give an anti-feminist group like A Voice for Men so much as a penny of my money, no matter what I might have to gain personally.
Or what cause you might be helping, i.e., if they were collecting money for disaster relief, etc. Such is the way of bigotry.